Okay, welcome to Humanity Unboxed. Good morning, Michael. I see
Good
glimpses of a
morning.
blue sky behind you, which is a
Yes,
good thing.
it's
We
blue,
have
but it's overcasted. It's muggy.
okay, okay. We
Yeah.
had sunshine, so we
Oh my
went
God.
for once.
Oh
Yes,
my God.
I'm not going to ask you how you are because you are alive, and I'm happy to be
Exactly.
chatting to you. And we have a different background, which is
Yeah.
movement. You know, we all
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
movement in our
Yeah.
lives.
Hmm.
Um, I've named this challenging authority, but actually, what I want us to go into is, we're still in trust. We're just finishing our kind of month of
Hmm.
trust is magic, and challenging authority is for me kind of getting to the root of lies because we live in a society
Hmm.
where I'm so sick of AI. I mean, I do use AI. I do
Yeah.
use GPT
Yeah.
to a point, but it's just so we don't know what's fake and what's real. And there were power outages in Portugal and Spain
Yeah. The
yesterday.
most.
What's real? What's not? What's the
Didn't we
lie?
say that last time? Didn't we say that last time that since AI, the most computer glitches, we have the most computer glitches since AI. In the old days, when you had you go to an expert and say, "Hey, have a Apple, have a PC,
Yeah,
come," and
yeah,
he
could
could fix
fix
it.
it.
And what I found is it's a really thing because I was thinking about the same thing as usual,
Mm.
and it's like what happens was uh, in the old days, they were when AI came on the platform when it came out system relevant
Mm.
when it came out. Everybody was talking about black box, the black box like in a
Yeah,
airplane,
yeah,
because of the that you can actually reverse engineer and say, oh, that's where the mistake was, and that's why the plane crashed.
yeah.
And all of a sudden, nobody talks about a black box anymore. That was
Mm.
the most prevalent communication between humans when
Yeah,
AI was published, really, as for humanity, as for the general people,
yeah,
folks. And now nobody talks about black box. And now what happens is also what I observed, which is basically we only can observe, is that the people say, yeah, we had that, and they call and they say, can you fix it? Why is my computer thing? And they say, we don't know. So
yeah,
even Apple tells you now, suppose
yeah,
this is a story. I'm not saying Apple is bad, but
yeah,
when you call them, they say we don't know.
yeah.
They just don't know. They just can't fix it out. They said reset it, reinstall it, and then you lose all. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just
So there's no accountability though, is there? Because
yeah,
like I don't need to fix it. I don't know what the problem is. Therefore, I don't. It's
yeah.
not my. It's
That's why I
you.
say
It's on you.
it's
Yeah.
responsibility is not accountability, which we said also last time.
Yeah.
Accountability is system relevant, where you say, okay, I'm taking care of when you have a fire.
Mm.
Oops, the fire was started differently that
Yeah. Now it's
we
not my
said.
problem.
So
Yeah.
it's the accountability is judgmental. You can change it. You can just change it by will. I mean, they
Yeah.
say they never will do face recognition. Now they do face recognition. They were actually, I mean, wasn't England and everybody in Europe all against the face recognition in China? And now they do the same. So it's constantly changing, whatever you want to say. So how can a leader be ever trusted when you can just willingly change what you currently need, not what humans need? It's not
Mm.
the, and I think there's one thing always, because we know the lifeblood of system is flow, it's money flow, and that there is constantly and because they go by financial principles, which is it's never enough, the money flow has to rise and they have to expand, and their survival is they have to expand and survive,
Mm.
and therefore it's going to be tighter and tighter for humans, because the system can, can the system survives when they have a huge building with homes in it and they don't rent it out, because the system
Yeah.
survives. Actually, it's less problems than when humans live in the
Yeah. Because
housing.
you don't need to maintain it. No one's going to break the toilet or
Exactly, nothing.
whatever.
It's
Yeah.
just thing, and the housing prices go up. Their investment. Do you see the
Because the demand and supply is really
exactly?
expensive. Yeah.
So this is, it's always it's never enough, and therefore if we have to really say it's about humans and how we are enough anyway. We said that 100
Yeah.
times. We're enough
Yeah.
because nature wouldn't make us if we're not enough. But
Mm.
in the system, in our play world, in our theater,
Mm.
drama theater
Yeah.
systems,
Puppet show.
we have to, we have to,
Yeah.
we have to change it. And what's really is I talked to a person today, and she was so absolutely nice, and I find that the people that need to in systems that help you, they're the sweetest people ever. And they're really feeling, and they're really compassionate because they feel, yeah, I'm supposed to give them a house. I'm supposed to give them this, and I can't because if you say, hey, Michael, can I buy some tomatoes? And I say, yeah, you got to do this. I say, can I have the tomatoes? Say, I don't have them. So if you
Yeah.
don't have any tomatoes, don't make a tomato store.
Yeah. But can you supply something else? Because I mean, like, why are you there?
Yeah,
Why is there no accountability? Why we have it in education? We have it everywhere.
yeah.
We have. I mean,
That's our
we
lesson.
always being called the conspiracy theorists,
Yeah.
and then suddenly now the UK, for example, is admitting that they want to block the sun and do this thing, and they've been doing it for many years. But everybody
Yeah.
that spoke about it has been called conspiracy theorists and weirdos, and now that they're suddenly coming up with it, now it's like, oh, what?
The same as
it's
doctors.
been this repetitive lies, and whether we're right or not, when we ask these questions as to what are these things in the air, why is the system so broken, why can we not help the people that need help, why is the education system not educating,
Yeah.
there's no accountability because, sorry, I can't do anything. I'm just a part of the system. I'm helpless.
I mean, they have no other
This is
choice.
good enough.
Otherwise, they cannot exist. See, they have to even say that to you, the system. And the problem is this, what we find out now is, I think all comes to the surface. It's really good. I think it's really good that everything comes to the surface.
Yeah.
And when you learn in the, Oxford, Princeton, Harvard, you learn something, and it has such a brand. And there we're talking about responsibility for authority.
Mm.
You have such a in nature. There's no authority. In nature, you are your authority. So if you are a mother, you will take care of the kids. If you are a man is a leader, you are the hunter. The authority is in the self.
Mm.
In system relevant, it is you get it over years. Oxford,
But from the
Cambridge.
outside, it's not
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
inside.
yeah, yeah. And so we have to look at this, and perhaps this is all opening these things up. Is we're looking at this, and that's why awareness is so important. That you see, because the kids, no doctor wants to do harm. They get conditioned. When you get this, you get that. It comes to making harm because the money comes from there, and then it's either them survive, which is always in. We said that again. Fight or flight. It's either you or me. If they put you and me in a cage, nobody can accept it. You and me will be, the DNA will pivot, and it says, I need to survive for you, and we will fight each other to the death. Because that's
I'm not sure about that, though.
now you don't have a power. You don't have the power, Michaell. It's because it's not you. It's the DNA. It's not your mind or whatever. Look at the stuff that you see outside. The people are so much in fight flight. All of a sudden, they do things they would never thought, and they're suppressed and be,
But often it's because they are so fear driven, because they believe, like, if I don't believe that it's you or me, if I am in a space where I'm centered and grounded within myself and not from the outside, if I can trust in my existence or not. I mean, I'm bigger than my body in any case. Only then can I bypass what you say is DNA, or that instinct, which isn't really an instinct; it's a survival mechanism.
Yeah.
Because in this world that we live in now, the media, all the noise, all the fear, all the I mean, people in Europe have now experienced something where we need to now get all our,
Fight.
they're going into fight. Like, what are our plans for next time? We need to hoard and keep supplies together. We need to figure out what's gonna, because they've now experienced something, and now they need to be better prepared. So it created its own fear, which builds.
Which is actually making it all bigger, because what the thing is, the sustainability, right?
Yeah.
The sustainability is the key. I don't know what the noise is here. Do you hear this noise? No. No. Good. So the sustainability, it's not, and balance. And see, the stuff of I think is balance, and we don't look at balance and see if that's what. And actually, Trump is the one person or whatever who he's perhaps also a puppet. I don't know. I'm not never say. But something triggered, and might be even metaphysical, that it triggered that this comes out through him, and then because he's a different person than the first time he reigned,
Yeah.
and it's shifting the whole world. The whole world is now opening up. Oh, what are we doing? We are not for humans. We're actually using humans to make money, and it should never be.
Yeah, and it's so sad, coming to that point is like, what's going on? Like, even the human-centered, what I thought is human-centered organizations and spaces aren't really, because they've gone into fight or flight, because now we have to use the system or really blatantly, systemizing humanity, which is
and you can't.
hang on a minute, this isn't you. But that's survival, because I need to survive.
All these, but actually the system leaders need to survive. The systems, we are never to be that the system leaders get rich. The system where we talked about this tribes, right? It's about, hey, we exchange. I bring you home a deer, and you take care of my whatever horse or something, and it was, and I think today still systems that are, they're looked wrongly, because systems that are, for example, for shelter, that are for medicine, they should never even be a business. Any help that a system should never be a business. You can make a business, doing computers, creating something and sell it. But any system that is for humanity, because without humanity, there is no systems. You got to take care of your creators, right? I mean,
but it's a great business model, because humanity needs to think that they need the thing so that they can buy the thing so that they can carry on living. So it's a great business model if you use, health or education, for that matter, or social.
a short time. It's short-time business model to get you rich and whatever. And it's just how much can you get? It's just like, how much can you get? Where, in the old days, people made much more money than, and I heard all that when I was young. I heard, oh, I bought this for $1 million, and $1 million was a lot then, and all this stuff. And I made $100,000 doing this. I made this. I sold my storage unit for $26,000. I mean, just constantly these numbers. And now I hear nobody. I hear this guy made a lot of money because he got a 0.5 cent of something, or speculation of whatever. So the financial principle of forcing the lack, it needs to be more. Forcing the lack is actually, and also the generalization of humans cuts the creativity. When without actually, what really the money is the thing of creativity. Because even if I take advantage of all people, right, I'm on the top. I must be very system relevant, and also I must game the systems. And even with gaming, you need to be super creative. And so, but if I focus on the game and not on the effects that the game has. So if I say I'm spraying things so we have better weather or whatever, if I do that, I'm just in the creation. I'm creating in the creation, but this is the reality. I'm creating in the dream. I'm saying, okay, we create a dream. There's climate change everywhere. Now we say, oh my God, we do this to do the climate change. It's another business. It's like one business over the other, and every business comes out of the financial principle. It's never enough. So the plus, because we're all in a collective leg, is more important than the humans. It's not. We created. We have endless creativity. But when you put us in a box, we said that too. You put us in a box, creativity has to go against each other. It doesn't work. You have to.
It's no longer creativity. It's now lack. And you can never be creative in fight or flight because you are not connected. There's no trust. And that, I mean,
perfect. Exactly. You are so creative in a box, and you need to expand. Creativity means expansion, and you expand, and you can't expand. So you got to go be competitive, number first. Yeah. And when you're competitive, then you jump into fight flight, where it says, I don't care what's with her. I need to make money. I need to survive. I don't care if you have the last pound. I need your pound. Yeah, because it's either me or you.
And but now we also realizing that the pound or the dollar or the whatever you have in your pocket isn't necessarily going to save you or be your security,
of course not.
Be the thing that you think it is going to be, because those systems are also falling. So
because we lied. We pretended I'm more, and because I'm more, you have to give me money because I'm a super. I mean, look, these top universities, they make a lot of money. They have a ton of money because it's all on a fantasy. It's like we creating that's why I say the dream, the wrong.
But it's a loan, it's a debt creation. So whoever walks out there is now in lifetime debt to an institution which hasn't put them any closer necessarily to being the expert. They've just finished those books and someone put a tick after their name. But now they are contracted, it's kind of a soul contract that now you need to spend the rest of your life fulfilling. And in that, you can't be creative. You have to fall in with the system, and there's no movement, and you can't really trust.
And this is what I really get in my face, is the people that have heard somebody, oh, my friend did this and he was exempt. I said, when was that? 2 years ago. It's not now, because what this system of lack is also accelerating we lack scarcity, and then lack scarcity, and then war, totally self-destruction. So we are on the well of self-destruction, not as a negative, just to be aware of. If we keep doing the same things, we need to update systems, which we have done 50 episodes ago. We said that we have to update systems to be human relevant, and life systems that whatever with our creativity and fastness and discovery, that we can just have these things going, and actually interacting, actually dancing with the system, dancing with humans first, and then dancing with systems.
Yeah, but first we need to realize that we can exist and flourish and be enough without a system. That we are firstly human without a system, and then we can create and update systems around us as we need them, not in a general way. Not all people need to go into
the people that want to be in the system are fine. They're welcome. Everybody, if you want to work in the system, you're fine. But be aware that the system is if it's a life system, it's only a life as long as it actually has a purpose, not as a purpose of what the noble intent is, that I always say, right? The noble intent is to take care of horses. When that noble intent is challenged, either by no money or by whatever, you got to either update the system or close it down. That because it cannot be that the system is longer living. See, that's another thing. It's longer living than the human. So it also tweets us it distorts us into a thing. Is no, they are like God. They're forever. What do you want to say against Oxford, Harvard, Cambridge? What do you want to say against them? Or whatever, or unbelievable thing. What do you want to say against them? And that's our perception. It's not their fault. Our perception is you know, oh my God, they were here forever. You know, I mean, you know how promoted is, how old Guinness is. Well, it's
Yeah.
all a promotion of the thing. You know,
Yeah.
it could yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's I was just thinking about this quote we were talking about it the other day about efficient societies, or you can
yeah,
replace that with systems, aren't necessarily the ones that you want to live in, because those aren't the ones where people are seen. There's no
yeah,
human centricity within those efficient systems or
yeah,
societies. It's much more than that. There's and it brings me back to that concept of masculine and feminine and
yeah.
balance and equilibrium, where we
Hmm.
can't just be productive. This is where the lies lie, because for me, or for the system to get us to output the most so that it can flourish in its creation of wealth, or whatever,
Never enough, never
never
enough. Yeah,
enough. um I'm not seen. I need to be generalized because I am just a tool that's being used to enrich the system, or
yeah.
the
And that's why you need
thing.
to be generalized. That's why
Yeah.
you. That's why they say, "Oh, you're a woman. I'm a man." Blah, blah,
Mm,
blah.
mm,
It doesn't get anywhere, and it's so. I'm, if I had a real, we can never get into a real argument because we sense the same. You and that's why we are such a good team. But we sense the same thing from other parts of the world. The same thing. It's not like, oh, in America it's great, and then or in England it's great, and the whole, and we're thinking about the lying, right? We think about the lying, and I think because it became such an what do you say, theater, a drama theater,
yeah.
the theater gets more and more real. It's like when you have a real horrible childhood,
Mm,
you go on in whatever fairyland and whatever, because you can't, it's so hard here, it's so hard here in the physical, but that is the purpose of being human, to learn in the physical and to bring in the physical and how much can be affected. I
yeah.
was in a, it's like sad when I see young kids that are just in college. So
Mm,
this is the super, I was at the quantum theory talk, and and this is uh you know uh, she's wonderful. I like Hope Hopewell. She's has a wonderful thing on X and everywhere, and she's very human centric,
yeah.
and that's her strength. But she has little kids there. Had some kids there. They were genius in the terms of what's going on and what attracts and what
Mm,
repels and how to find things. I couldn't understand a word they said. It was like speaking
yeah.
in a different language to me. But what I saw was they coming into, the system has so conditioned them to when I discover something I get paid. That's not the
Mm,
point. It's like if I create art and I get paid for it, it's like, when we were talking about art, always the you know Van Gogh didn't know that Mona Lisa was, oh, that wasn't even Van Gogh, who was that,
the
what,
Vincent.
Da Vinci, yeah, Da Vinci didn't know, you know Mona Lisa is going to be all that,
Yeah.
he said it was a great painting, blah blah, blah. I had probably fun with it, and that's it. He didn't probably even. What is if Mona Lisa was the worst experience he had to paint? What,
Yeah.
and for whatever reason, it just happens, right? And it
Mm,
happens. And what I see with these kids, they were, I think the one person was from super school, like Stanford or something.
mm,
And I was talking, I was checking, and I felt like they were all driven by resolving. And I said, do you know that you can never resolve nature because you're part of it? You're not outside. You're not outside. If I create nature, I can discover it and I can tell you everything about it. I am not. And
mm,
nature is always changing, is always growing. The creativity of nature is always growing and always moving, right?
mm,
And so, how can you see, the awareness needs to be from humans? It's not about how I do the best homes. It's not about how I do this. It's put it in the context of humanity.
mm,
Nothing. When I take out the homes, when I take out your health care, and when I think it's great to discover, but you got to bring it back in, and that needs to be the master thing, to bring it back into human centricity, and which we know that we work on updating systems. That's what we do. But people don't get that.
Because it's a conditioned existence. I have to go through. Someone mentioned today she was on a networking call, and they were networking, and they were out walking, and she asked people, what lights you up in your work? What do you? And it was it wasn't something that they knew how to. It's all measurement. We need to measure how much how many
put a label on it. Put a label on it.
Bank account or whatever it is. That's your measurement, and it's from a human-centric point. The measurement is from the inside and not from the outside. So that conditioning is a difficult shift to make, because in that process you've been told that you're not enough. So I need to prove that I'm enough.
And it's always conditioned. It's always conditioned. Always. It's for I'm in so many talks and everything, and they always say, "Where are you from?" I'm out from Austria. I'm from the thing. It's like I get already praised being from Austria. Who cares where I'm from? But
you've been in Laguna Beach or California for years, so you might be from Austria, but that doesn't necessarily tell
mean anything
about you. It tells me a little bit about maybe a different culture perspective, but not
perhaps I'm more open.
Michaell.
But you what you assume is perhaps he's more cultured, but that that doesn't mean or he can speak 2 languages. So what? What has that anything to do with me? Because I can be the meanest, most conniving person ever. I could, and it's not. That's what I'm saying. So everybody, and you should hear what people say in these groups. I was like 40 years ago. It's like if I want to really do a system relevant thing, I needed to say, oh, I worked with Robert Evans. Oh, I did, actually, I did Miss Universe. Worked for, I worked at Arts Commission. It's so irrelevant what I was. It's a good experience. So when somebody says he has so for example, when somebody does say one job, just to be accepted, right, or to matter, I was the genius physician in that. It was good. But when somebody says he was like the neurodiverse people are, it's like,
now
I had so much experience. My education was life, not studying, not a mental thing. And I could, till today, can't study, But I can't. I learned so much with every human. I mean, I meet any human, good or bad, or have a thing, and I just wow. What? And it always that's what we also say. When 2 people communicate, and this is probably one of the best. There's nobody has that example like you and I. It clarifies each other's life experience and perspective, and it is the highest growth. There's never higher growth than when 2 people talk human-centrically, and to sharpen their perception, because they become more aware. They grow. They get more wisdom. They have more touch to the wisdom. They can grab it. Also, what also when you talk to humans, you are also and when you do it like we do, it prevents you to be seduced by stupid stuff. Hey, Michaell, I can make you $1 million right now. What are you saying? What are you saying? Just say yes. Just say yes.
And there's no trust when you do that. I can't trust you because what do you want? Because then there's some transactional process that has to happen, and I will lose something in that process. And is it worth the $1 million necessarily?
And the system never, never is transparent. See, the fact why we have the noble intent to take care of the horses, because I trust those people. And they are transparent when they have to save money and give the horse worse food.
But also because I love horses. So you can trust that I will be looking after the horses because you know that I love horses. And therefore I will make sure that the horses are okay. But if I was doing it for
system relevance,
then it would have nothing to do with the horses. It would have to do with the
income. You have to make more money.
Return that I get. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a perfect way to kind of wrap it up, because that is why authority needs to be challenged for us to be able to trust it. Because if we can ask it questions, if we can go to people within these systems that are supposedly in authority positions, they need to tell us that if I say I don't agree with this, or have a conversation, show me, and be open enough to change it. Just because
you can't get up, you can't even if they were saying, you can challenge authority, you can't get up. We are molded by the people that I said that are really nice, that want to do it, and it just from the top, the money directs, and the power directs how you get evening. So this is a power play, became a power play instead of a sustainability issue of each other working together and using our creativity to grow. This was exactly it's now in the old days I talked to every top. I got to every top. It's not possible anymore. They cut you off. They segregated to, this is a different layer. This is somewhere else.
Because you get what's the word? You get Assange comes to mind. You get punished for uncovering the truth, because
uncovering or knowing the plot of the theater that we played, the drama theater,
and putting it out there and making it transparent. That is dangerous, and that's been shown in many spaces. Therefore, the lie.
Yeah, it's funny because they supposed to be, authority always supposed to be transparent. It was never meant to be opaque. So why? And now I told you, they are so much more powerful than humans now. That they force the humans to be the transparency, because we are always smarter. We always find out that you can have the biggest prison that nobody can get out. Always somebody escapes. We always find out we are limitless. We are limitless. There is no AI that can even come close. It can do stuff that we can't do. It can do 50,000 multiplication at one time, which we can do, but it just can't. And when you lift that technology, that system, show up of what you're doing, you gotta do it. It's a great tool. It's a great tool,
but in moderation,
very limited.
Cut
it like a knife. A knife is good to cut something. It's not good to stab something. It's nothing, and it's not good to decide that by themselves. We don't want to buy a knife that can decide by themselves. I want to cut today, but no, I'm going to stab you.
Exactly. No. Thank you, Michael.
I love monkeying around with you. That's always great.
Thank you very much. We will challenge